The American dream. It is what all people, even from other countries, have wanted to come to the United States for, to live out what we're here for, to live in a place of freedom, freedom of religion, of speech, to do whatever you want, right? Live in a capitalist society where business can be thriving. And yet, do you feel like you're living the American dream now? I mean, if we take a snapshot of society as a whole, I mean, really, people are, unfortunately, obese and overweight. 76% of America is obese and overweight. People are wildly in debt. The divorce rate is up, and I'm not trying to be so negative here, but when did the American dream start to turn into what sounds like and feels like the American nightmare? I mean, really. And so here is what we have to say about that. There has been a shift now where back decades ago, the American dream was real. This country was founded on the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And how many people are really pursuing happiness right now? People are pursuing what? They're pursuing houses outside of their means. They're pursuing
cars,
salaries and cars and homes that are outside of their means. And people are ultimately getting jobs and staying in jobs and leaving jobs and getting other jobs just to pay for bills and expenses. Hello, it doesn't sound like the pursuit of happiness. That sounds like the pursuit of something else, of an illusion. And so we're here that we want to break this pattern. We want to break this idea of the American dream now because it really is a nightmare. So what would American dream really feel like nowadays?
Yeah, really. And I want to underscore a little bit about the nightmare because I've been talking to a lot of people lately, and more I'm hearing people say, man, after our mortgage, car, clothing, food, we don't have any money left over. And so people aren't thinking about, number one, what do they do when they want to go on a vacation or have a trauma happen or have anything come up or even just want to make a change in life. People are running themselves so low they have no reserves and no other income stream. So they're relying only on their job, and then they have no extra money after all their bills, and that's a nightmare. And it's happening more and more of people that we're talking to, and this is a real issue for individuals and couples to really get that you can break that pattern. There's a trap to easily fall into to really say, okay, well, we need to get a bigger house now because we need to keep up with the Joneses, and I need a new car, and their payments, people don't even know what their bills are. And this is, one of the takeaways is to really look at your income and your bills. And I'm going to just jump into a point right here is that in our training, what we've learned from our mentors who are very successful, bills should not be more than 55 to maybe 60% of your income. That's going to have extra capital for investing in yourself, investing in other companies, investing in vacations that you want. Your bills should not be 80 to 90% of your income. That is a complete nightmare. So that's just one point I felt called to jump right in with.
Yeah, and you hear us talking about finances here, right? But let's go a step further. There are a lot of Americans that have pursued the American dream and have really made a bunch of money and really have just stored it away. And you can see it in a lot of the people that have really limitless finances that none of them are happy. Not to throw out to the celebrities, but a lot of the people that are in the news or that are really social media trending, these people get divorced and they don't have good relationships. They're out really self-sabotaging themselves even though the money is endless. And so I don't know, people like to watch them destroy themselves. Well, even having a bunch of money isn't the American dream either, because when people came to the America, it wasn't about just amassing a whole bunch of cash and storing it away and not recirculating it. They actually created community. They saw how they could help one another. They pursued what they were passionate about, and there's now a shift going back where it is a call for people in America to come back to what you were meant here for. Like, what did your soul come here for? Mm-hmm. You didn't come here to pay bills. You didn't come here to collect as much cash and put it in the bank as you could. You didn't come here for any of that. So whether you're on the side of amassing a bunch of income and not happy, let's look at where we can start to circulate that income, circulate that finance, circulate that energy to places that are going to contribute to people. I mean, service to many leads to greatness, not just storing away as much cash as you can and being out there on media outlets. So on both sides, whether you are somebody that is, like Jocelyn said, you're feeling like you're struggling paying bills, you're in a job just to make ends meet, or you have like financial abundance and yet you just don't feel fully satisfied, where's this medium? Let's come back to our purpose, what we came here for, and really ask yourself that question, from my heart, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that lights me up? And follow that path of least resistance where, if you do that, finances will be abundant for you too. Truly.
And if people are sticking with their jobs because they're like, well, it matches my bills and I've got all these bills, which I've heard so much recently, or, you know, the benefits, right? It's a trap to say, oh, I've got to have this job because it supplies that. It becomes a nightmare and people are going to sleep unsatisfied, dreading their alarms coming off. And that's another part of the nightmare, is that fulfillment. It isn't just about finances, it's truly about that fulfillment. And, you know, point two that we want to take away, besides, you know, your income and debt ratio, is that you aren't ever stuck. You are never stuck. You get to live inside of your passion if you really want to, and you can live that life that you want. In the world, the landscape has changed. A lot of people, they actually don't want to work in corporate America, and they don't want to have six figures because they don't want all those bills. Some people want to go build a small condo in Mexico, have an online business, and, you know, live really, really modestly. Like, the world has changed, and you no longer have to get into how the American dream looks. Go to college, you know, get this corporate job, have tons of debt, you know, buy a house way above your... No one has to do that. If you want to live in a small, modest condo somewhere else in the world and have an amazing online business, you get to do that. The landscape has changed, and we are meeting people who are thinking outside the box, and people who are buying RVs and going to live on the road for half the year, and instead of buying a house, you know, or just traveling for half the year instead of, you know, buying a house that they don't need, a $600,000 house. So the landscape has changed, and you really can get creative and think outside the box and not go with just the normal pattern of life.
Yeah, we could go to the college degree now too, how the cost of the college degree is going to take you 5 to 10 years with what you're going to make coming out. It's the return on investment is not even really viable anymore for the 4-year degree. And at the same time, the workforce, we have so many baby boomers. Talked to a friend of ours in education. We have so many baby boomers ready to retire, like not in a decade, not in 5 years, like within the next year or two, where we don't have the skill set even within the labor force and the millennial generation and the generation behind that, Gen Z. So there is a real problem in the gap between what sort of jobs are out there and what the skills of people are. So even to say a 4-year degree doesn't make sense anymore. You know, what we're saying here is not to grab anything we're saying like as true or false, but you have to check in for yourself. What really aligns for you? What do you line up with? What feels like the path for you, and what is your unique skill set and ability, something that we call your zone of genius, and follow that path.
Yeah, absolutely. Truly, you get to design your life, and you know what we are inviting you to take away from this is to create your dream life. Like, really design your life, which is what we talk about in our book. Design your life your way, and you don't have to fall into the normal trend of how things go. If that is what feels good to you, do it. We're just saying, really pause in life and really check it out. Design your life how you want it to be. The world has changed, and one of the notes I wrote was the American dream hasn't caught up with how the world is today, with technology, with the options, with virtual business, with everything. And, you know, if you haven't paused, because I've talked to probably 10 people in the last 2 days who are really going, oh my gosh, like I've been almost just going along with this and I don't even think I like this. It's time to just pause and really look and see if how life is going is how you want it to keep going. And if not, you get to change it. We're here to tell you, you get to do anything you want to do. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, and it doesn't mean that there won't be challenges and things, but that's the beautiful personal development that comes with it. And so that's just our message for today. Create your dream life. Don't get trapped into the nightmare American dream. And if you want to read our book,
let me pause on that one second.
Sure.
I just got really clear. It's not that the American dream is a nightmare now. It's that people are trying to live an American dream that was set up for 40, 50 years ago. So the American dream that is still being really thrown out there at us, I'll throw out there and say us millennials, is a dream of our grandparents. And so that is not the dream anymore. So the idea of the American dream that are being pushed on us, or that you really need to get present to, is your own, the one that you're aligned with, the one that you came here for, and it's not going to be an American dream that looked like for our grandparents. It's time for that to catch up.
Yeah, that's good. So let's do a high five. So what I was going to say is we give away our ebook for free. Like, that's our gift to you. And so if you haven't read it, there's no excuse. It's for free. Go to our website. And that's just what we want to give away. Give away the information that we have around finances, health, thriving in all areas of life, really. So we love you, and we can't wait to see what your dream life looks like. Bye.